Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. So I know that everyone is really getting into fall right now, and I'm trying desperately to hold on to summer as long as I can. I will be bringing a whole bunch of fall DIYs next week and for probably a few weeks after that. But today I figured I wanted to do something a little bit different. Now, my home has a whole bunch of different styles throughout it. So this week, I figured that we would tackle some really high-end, modern-looking DIYs. So I would love to know down below in the comments, what is your favorite style of decor? I always say that everything that I make, you can put your own spin on it. Everything that I do is purely for inspiration. And if I do something modern, you could totally make it farmhouse or coastal or shabby chic. I just want you guys to know that you can do whatever your style is. Now, as usual, most of the items that I've used are from Dollar Tree and Dollarama. Now, with that being said, you guys, let's jump into the first DIY. All right, guys, DIY number one. So here I am taking one of these triple bowls that you get at the Dollar Tree, and I am going to just give them a quick coat of my white chalk paint, all just like on the top. These bowls are going to be sitting upside down, so we are going to paint the entire bottom, top, whatever you want to call it. And I am going to use the baking soda technique. So I use a 1-to-1 ratio. To me, I like it a little bit thicker so that when you do paint it on there, it gives you a lot more texture. So I don't show it all, but I do about a 1-to-1 ratio. And then literally you just scoop it on. Now, I lost all the footage, you guys, but you know what to do. Come on, right? Just, scoop it on, paint it on, get it that really nice ceramic, natural looking texture. And I am going to do the same thing to all three of these awesome tea light holders that I found at the Dollar Tree. So again, using my baking soda and paint, I am going to go over all three of these. So it just gives it more of a cement look and just, and then it all matches. Like the base of this will match all of the candle holders. I realize that they're white, but we gotta match. So I'm going to do that to all three and paint the whole thing, top included. Paint, paint, paint. Look at me go there. You guys, I need to work on my editing. I'm so sorry. How are you all doing? So here I am going to use Chemo. If you don't know who Chemo is, you need to check him out. He does this amazing thing with pepper. So at first I just, poured the pepper into a bowl and kind of, put it on there. And then I'm like, nah, I'm just going to, use my pepper mill and do it right onto these little tea light holders. Now the paint was obviously still wet when I was doing this, and as it dries, it kind of cements in there and it just gives the piece this amazing effect. Like it looks like stone. I don't know, but seriously, Chemo, you are a genius. I love, love, love this technique. I will link his channel down in the description box if you've never checked him out before. He's amazing. Like, look at that. Oh, I love it. Looks so great. So I'm going over the base of this again because the paint had dried by the time I got to the pepper. And so I'm just putting a little bit more on there and then grinding the pepper over top to give the entire thing the same effect. So looking like stone, like granite, like little pieces of natural amazingness. So you see there, put the paint on and then grind it with my pepper mill. Rock and roll. So now to adhere the candle holders to the bowls here, I'm just using some E6000. You guys know E6000 for the permanent hold. And then I did put a little bit of hot glue in the middle there just to secure it down for that immediate hold. Just like that. And of course, you know, clean up your glue smooches. All right. Now I got these little succulents from the Dollar Tree as well. So I'm just going to pull them out of their little pots there. And I will use those pots eventually. And we'll just, you know, put them all in a little craft stash. And I'm just cutting off the stems because I'm just going to place them in there just, you know, loose. You could put some floral foam into the tea lights if you wanted to. I didn't want to because I just didn't want to see that green, you know, kind of poking through. And I didn't want to put any moss or anything on top of it because I was going for like a super clean, modern look. So I did that with 3 of these succulents, and you guys, that is it. Like, how easy is this? And I just think it is so modern and so stunning. Don't you love it? I love it. All right, you guys, Modern DIY number 2. Okay, so I'm using this Wall Decor piece that I got at the Dollar Tree. And you can see here, like at the beginning, I take off the roses and then I try to, you know, blast it with my heat gun to get all the glue off. But I actually don't even end up using that piece of the wall art. And I'll tell you why in a second. So the frame is very, very smooth. So I did go along with my sanding block from the Dollar Tree and I gave it a really good sand so that the paint will adhere to it. And then I take my black paint from Folk Art and I give it a good coat. So this black paint covers super, super well. And I really only had to do 1 coat on it. Now, the bath mat. So this is just, you know, obviously a scrap from a bath mat from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using my Debbie brush and the black paint by Folk Art. And I did give this 2, maybe 3 coats just to get really, really good coverage. And so here you can see, instead of using the original like inside of this wall art from Dollar Tree, I just cut a piece of foam core just so that I wouldn't have to paint over those roses and whatnot, because I knew that it would take a couple of coats and I wanted it to be stark white, and this was actually perfect. So just putting my bath mat into the frame and, you know, lining it up, seeing exactly what my placement is going to be and figuring that out. See, it's the creative process, you guys. And I'm just cutting it down to size here. Now, obviously, you guys, it's a bath mat, so it's super, super easy to cut. And you just trim it to whatever size you want. I love like the curved end of this bath mat. It works so perfectly for this project, you guys. Oh my goodness. I just think it's so like interesting looking. And so now, taking some hot glue, we are gonna glue that sucker down. So I will go along like the straight edges. Don't put the glue into the big circles. They are concave on the other side, so it won't stick. And trust me, I tried it in a previous DIY and it did not work. So, and of course, always getting rid of those dang glue smooges that come out on the ends there. And yeah, just glue it down. Now this circle, this wood circle I got from Dollarama, and the placemat I got from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just using the wooden circle as a template, you know, using my pen, traced it out, cutting out a circle. We're gonna cover that circle. And what I end up doing here, you'll see, like I trim and trim and trim. I want it to have like about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, so that you can see here I'm painting that circle black so that it does have kind of like a black border around it. It might be 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit, so that it has contrast. Oh, and snap. Also painted one of those little circles from the Dollar Tree. Now, you can see I had a costume change because I felt like I needed to match my project, maybe. I hot glued the placemat to the circle, and now I'm using that small circle, and I used my E6000 and some hot glue to create a teeny little shelf. And now here, putting some hot glue on there and sticking it down. I can't wait for you guys to see the final result, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, DIY number 3. So I am going to take one of these, what would they be, like styrofoam? They're styrofoam wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. And I just cut off a little bit of one side there. It wasn't quite half, I'd say probably about 1/4, just making sure that it would sit flush on a surface. Now you can see that box there with the 3 little vials, I guess, in it. I was originally going to use that, but I do change my mind. So just kind of disregard that. And I do give this wreath form a couple of coats of white chalk paint by Folk Art. And actually, these foam wreath forms paint up so well. Now, excuse the blurriness. I don't know what was going on with my camera, you guys. But I'm using one of these Wall Decor from the Dollar Tree. And just taking off the lettering there and then prying up the little tong things on the back. And I am going to sand the frame down just like I did with the previous DIY there, because it is, again, it's very, very smooth. So you want to make sure that your paint adheres to it. And we are going to paint this whole thing black. So same deal. This time I do actually use the back of the wall art as the base, I guess. This is going to be a tray. And then I paint the entire frame there with my black chalk paint as well. Again, you know, one coat is more than good. So just putting that back into the frame and folding down those little tongy things. And there you guys go. We have a tray. So this adorable little bottle from the Dollar Tree, it's so pretty, it's like iridescent, but we are going to change that. So taking off the label and the little, you know, stopper lid there, we're also going to paint this black. I love this black chalk paint. It's so matte and it just looks amazing on this vase. I absolutely love how this turned out. And I did 2 coats on this just because I didn't want it to look streaky. So the first coat was a little bit streaky, but then when you do that second coat, it's just amazing. It's just a solid, solid black. Love this paint. You see? Looks so good. Love it. And now E6000, and we are going to put that on the bottom of our wreath form to make sure that we get a nice secure hold. And then of course we're going to put some hot glue on there too, and then we're going to place that onto our tray here. Just like that. And then we are going to put that vase into the center. And then I'm going to use a skewer and poke a hole through the top of the wreath form. And this is where the greenery is going to go. And you just want to make sure that you line it up with the vase. Now, I didn't actually tape when I put the stem that I used through the wreath form, but you get the idea. And this is so easy, you guys. It is so, so simple. And I think it's so modern and so high-end looking. Oh my goodness. I cannot get over how much I love, love, love this piece. All right, you guys, that's it for our modern DIYs. I had so much fun with this video. I really love all 3 of these projects. They're just so clean looking and high-end looking and just very unique. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now, of course, I always say too, if you ever recreate any of my DIYs, I would love to see them. Send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram will be linked down below, and I will totally give you a shout out. I just think it's amazing when people actually recreate my DIYs. And also down in the description box, Chemo's channel will be there, so make sure you check him out. And my Buy Me a Coffee link will be down there as well if you want to contribute to my channel. Now, if you like what you see, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, you know, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye, guys. So I figured that I would tackle some... That's pretty good. So you can make it shabby chic, modern, you know, whatever you want. So my home has lots of stuff, different styles. So with that being said, let's jump into the first DIY. You guys haven't met my cat yet. His His name is Hurley. He's a pain. Love him, but he's kind of a dickhead. Right now. Right now. Come here. Look at this guy now. The handsome man. Hey, Hurley. Got her. You display them here, right here, right there. That one. Love it. See the wrinkles? No? Doing okay still? We're doing okay still. Now, let's get into the DIYs.